Welcome. It's another Thursday. As always, I'm Charlie, aka Geek Eye Comics, the one and only perpetual next to me, and big man, sexy Tom below us. Not for the first time this year either. So,
Oh, wow.
what's happening, you sexy bunch? How's it going?
Do you know what I love about us starting the show is that it looks kind of a smooth and organised, and as if we've not spent the last 15 minutes being tech
Practicing.
support for Charlie. Things are great. It's been a good week. It's been a busy week, and I'm really looking forward to the show.
Tom, how's your week been?
Me too. I think I'm having some tech issues. I literally like everything was going just for a second. Yeah, my week's been good. Glad to be here. Glad to have the Thursday night with you two good-looking fellas.
It's gonna be a good show. I feel like it's been a good week. I feel like it's gonna be a good show, and I think why not? Let's just crack on, get it done, and as always, there's only one way to start the show. There's only one way to start the show for you two. Anyway, for me,
it
doesn't really matter to me because I'm shit. But for you two. Oh no, that's the.
Oh, I see.
There we go. Look, I've got to give myself some advantage, lads. I tell you, I really have.
Oh, I see. He's lost a couple of weeks in a row. He's like, I'm going to make this all about me now.
It's all about me.
It really is. I've lost a couple of weeks in a row. I haven't won since like 2021. So, but it is.
Step up your game. Step up your game. Listen, even Slab Crusaders were having a dig at you as well when they said that there was two guys that could pick covers and one guy that couldn't. So, you know, if a big retailer is even having a dig, then what can I say?
Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? I can't even catch a break, can I? So obviously, people that watch this show week in, week out will know that I'm shit at picking covers. Tom and Andy are running away with it each and every week. And this week could clearly be no different. It's obviously the killer covers.
Could clearly be no different.
Which was New Comic Book Day yesterday. So up first, we've got.
It's me. I've gone for one of our favourites on the show. I've gone for Danny. So it's the 1 in 50 Danny cover variant for Grimm issue 11, and I absolutely love this. I love the negative space. I just think it's absolutely stunning, and Danny can do no wrong in my eyes. She's just an incredible artist and also a really cool person. So I picked this one purely for that, and I love the skulls in the flowers. I think that's really quite a clever touch. And like I said, I think the negative space works really, really well. And obviously the red really pops against the black. So that's why I picked it this week. And again, like I said, every week, if I see it and it's something that would attract me on the shelf, if I saw it on the shelf, that's why I went for it. So what do you guys think?
I've been reading the story. I think it's great. But for 1 in 50 cover, if this was a foil, I think it would be just a little bit better.
Yeah, probably.
I disagree.
Really?
I honestly think that this is perfect as it is. I think it's a really striking cover that is almost like I always tell a good cover by one that I would go into an LCS and I'd take like a second look, and I think this is one of them. But just because it's so different, and it's almost like a little bit like a negative space, but not a negative space cover, if that kind of makes sense. It's got that sort of vibe about it. But yeah, as Tom rightly said, we've met Danny at Thought Bubble and she was absolutely fantastic. So yeah, this was a good pick, Tom, I must admit. Well done.
It looks like it's got like a whitewash filter over it slightly.
I think it's supposed to look grainy. I think there's a grain filter over the top of it.
It does. Either
that or I've really shared a really shit version of it, not high res.
No, honestly, I think it is. Well, I haven't really seen Danny working on much lately. I don't know if I've missed anything, but I don't really.
I've not seen her work on stuff for a while, to be fair.
Yeah. But I mean, it's a great comic, great cover as well. Cover E, 1 in 50 Danny variant, Boom Studios, great picture, and look at this beauty.
Yes. Now I can only apologise for the actual content inside this book. More of that to come tomorrow on Triple G's channel. but I went for Night Terrors, the Joker issue #1. This is cover F, the 1 in 50, and this is by the fantastic and local to Northern Ireland, Ryan Brown. Guys, there's so much to this cover that it takes maybe 2 or 3 looks at it to actually discover little things and little nuances about it that just make it better and better for me. I think this is fantastic. It's eerie. You know, I just love little points like on the bow tie. You've got the J's for Joker. And whose hand is whose in this? This is what I'm trying to work out. It's like a little bit like an optical illusion. And then
you can kind of see Harley's, can't you?
Yeah. I'm counting all the hands, and I'm going like, where are those coming from? And you know, and then you go to the eyes, and I think that's what for me sells this particular book. I think the eyes just absolutely pop on this. So yeah, what do you guys think?
I like it, to be fair, but I think it's the thing of nightmares. This when you sent this to me, so I could do the canvas stuff, I was literally like, this is gonna haunt my dreams just for a few days.
I was conscious of that because I was like, every time I pick a clown cover or any sort of like evil horror cover, I'm like, oh, Tom's not very like us.
It's not that bad though. I mean, I can deal with it. I could get away with it, but yeah, I did at the start. I thought, yeah, this is going to be a bit of a bastard to get out of my brain.
I love this. I think it's great. And the fact is, again, Ryan Brown is a traditional artist, so he posts his like stage by stage pictures either on Facebook or Instagram. To get this from a painting is awesome.
Amazing. A lot of his early work as well, Judge Dredd stuff. I've actually got a couple of prints in my hall there, and just his work is phenomenal. Check out his like really early stuff before he started doing a lot of like covers for DC and stuff like that. Superb.
Yeah, look, so Chris Bell said, I think it would have been better with one set of additional hands over the mouth, if I'm honest, but it's a great cover the same. I think it is great. He's doing quite a few for Night Terrors as well. So if you can kind of get each of them, it'd be a nice set to have. But that's a 1 in 50 Ryan Brown variant cover. Lovely. I've stuck on the Night Terrors theme, and I've gone for Night Terrors Poison Ivy issue #1. I've gone for the Jessica Fong main cover. Like originally, I went for the Dustin Nguyen cover, but then I looked at this, and there's so many little bits, like the Joker cover. There's so many little bits in it, and this kind of really ties back for me. The Last of Us. Like there's so much going on. Like if you look on the TV, there's a TV series of Poison Ivy, and she's gives birth to a baby. It's got like the tentacles on the head, the birds, the flowers. Everything about this is just eerie. I absolutely love it, and I really enjoyed the story as well. I thought the story was great. Would you guys think? I think I'm loving this cover.
Story wise, I was a little bit I was it was the better of the bunch, I would say. Cover wise, I think I mentioned that there's so many things to see in my cover, but in this cover, like this is one that you could spend a good 10 or 15 minutes, you know, finding different things. It's like the Where's Wally of the Where's DC characters of covers. Yeah, it's a really good pick. Fantastic.
Yeah, I like this one. I think it's a really good pick, mate. I think you could, like you both said, you could spend quite a long time picking out bits and be like, oh, that's really cool. Or that's a nice, cool homage to that. Yeah, I think it's a really cool pick, Charlie, to be fair.
And you know what? This is like, obviously, for me, this was one of the covers that I read this comic digitally and I looked into it and I kind of zoomed in on this cover. And it's honestly like, you've got the cards on the table that have got like the details on there of like the Joker and the hearts and diamonds and stuff. The flowers crying. You've got the things outside the window. You've got like the in-depth on the TV screen. You've got the curtains. You've got the picture behind it. I think it's really good. And I do honestly like the way that it ties back to like The Last of Us with like all the virus and everything like that. So but who knows? Probably a fucking another shitter in
it. We shall see.
Let's go.
So Tom, vote is up.
The vote is up. There we go. The vote is up. Bish, bash, bosh. So we got mine by the amazing Jessica Fong. We have the cover F, which is the 1 in 50 Ryan Brown variant. And then we have cover E, which is the 1 in 50 Danny variant. So it could be a close week, guys. It could be a close week for you two. Anyway. So, right. So, last week, the vote was 3 comics, and the winner was World Tree, issue #3, written by the very, very amazing James Tynion. Week 26 review. So obviously this was last week's comic. This was an interesting read. There was about 14 covers out. It's obviously by Image, written by James Tinian, arts by Fernando Bianco, and the colours by the fantastic Jordi Belair. I've picked 8 covers. We've gone for the main cover by Fernando Blanco. We've got cover B by Martins. We've got the Ivan Teo Comic Kingdom exclusive variant. We've got a very peachy Stadium Comics exclusive homage variant cover. We have cover E by Martin Simmons, which is the 1/100. We've got the O-Shred Connecting exclusive variant cover.
O-Shred.
We've got the Mel Milton BTC exclusive variant and cover C, which is the 1/25 Campbell. What one of you guys want to take this away? Because I've got quite a lot to say on it.
I can't wait to hear what you've got to say about it. Do you know, I think we might have missed something. Have we introduced the chat? Have we talked to chat yet, Charlie?
No, bugger them.
We spoke to the chat. We've got Chris Bell in. I was putting up, because I was trying to sort out my microphone and camera technical issues. I was putting up the chat as we go, but let's do it. We've got Chris Bell. We've got Dan Dixon. We've got someone called Panels in a Half Pint Evening. We've got ABZ. We've got Stream Elements, always there. More regular than Connie. We've got Hop Hopkins Hideaway. Evening, gents. Fuzzy Dunlop. Hey up, lads. Happy to be here. ABZ said he's all here for the Lobo goodness. Chris Bell is said, yeah, it's all right. I find it generally uninspiring though. Is that the chat? Is
the
that
show?
Is that the show? There we go. That's the show.
That's the best review we've ever had.
Exactly.
But Dan Dixon has said Danny will be at Nice this year. Is anyone going? Is anyone going?
I'm considering it.
Yeah, I think he's considering. Yeah,
I'm considering, but it will all depend on work and stuff.
Yeah. And then we've got the Clockwork Orange homage is a peach. It is a peach indeed, and trust you to spot it, Chris. So that's the chat done. I can get back and settle down now because I'm interested to see what you two found about this story before I kind of delve deep into the dark internet.
Go for it, Tom.
Okay, so this is the 3rd issue of World Tree, and it's basically following on after Ellison's Lane's kid brother went on a bit of a killing spree and then shot himself. And there's a naked lady going around making people do weird things. So that's basically the premise of the whole thing. And in this issue, it was just this. It was very much a lot of the same. I found this issue a bit more character building. However, there was a bit more action in this one, and you kind of got a little bit more in depth on this group of characters that were introduced in issue 2 that have already come across this dark web or world tree, as they call it. So you're going to get a little bit more in depth in those. And the 2 characters who we met in issue 2, where they were kind of going into the house or they're burning a house down, you get a little bit more in depth on them, and they kind of save, or they attempt to save the girl who's been pulled into World Tree. I didn't realize until reading this issue, that she's the girl from issue 1 that was with Ellison's brother, or Ellison, in the car on the way to see his kid brother. I didn't pick that up, and I think that that's down to the art style being quite hard to differentiate who's who in certain areas. So I found that quite difficult, and that's very similar to Department of Truth. I found the same thing. I would say that this was a stronger issue than issue 2. I enjoyed reading this issue, and I am looking forward to see where issue 4 goes. I think it really opened up the world, and kind of you got a little bit more into it. I really like the panel that on the left hand side shows how they, like, if you don't look, you can't get in, kind of influenced by it, which almost goes down to, and it made me think about the world today, in the fact that when you pick up your phone, you are influenced by whatever you see, and you kind of go into that kind of, we're just going to flick. I mean, I don't know if anyone else, like in the chat or anyone else here, when you pick up your phone and you think, well, I'm going to text so-and-so, see how they are. I'm going to phone, I'm going to phone BT or something. And you have a notification from Instagram or Facebook, and you're like, oh, I'll just check that first. And then 2.5 hours later, you're still on scrolling through looking at shit you shouldn't have looked at. And then you're like, I don't remember what I was supposed to be doing before I started. And I think that's kind of what this story is a little bit about, in a way. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good issue. What did you guys think?
Andy, I'm happy to go. Yeah.
Go for it, Charlie.
Go for it.
I'm really enjoying this, and like James Tynion has a really way of like making a freaky story. Like it really stands out for me. This I got serious The Ring vibes from this issue. Serious,
Yeah.
like when they watch it and then like start tripping out, because we kind of on the panel that I picked on the right hand side, that gives a whole breakdown and it summarizes the whole thing about this dark internet. Because Ellison Lane, his brother, turns around and says like, "What the hell am I actually here for? Like I'm being tied to a wall. I'm being potentially electrocuted because you want to know about stuff that I don't know about. So what am I here for?" And then we hear like, what was his name? Is his name Grayson? Is it Grayson Waller or whatever his name is? The main.
Is this the guy in the white?
Yeah,
The white hair.
So
yes.
he's like a high end, like everyone knows about him. He literally just breaks it down and says, "Look, we kind of delved into the dark web when we were teenagers. We set up this group called the World Tree, and now it's basically come back to bite us in the arse." But the interesting thing about this is, for me, one of the most interesting things is this panel on the left hand side that Andy's picked. If you look closely at it, she's like, there's a gorilla that's coming like out of her. So I don't know if like the dark web kind of brings the worst out in people or brings out their like alpha male type or alpha female type of feelings to just want to go on like a primal rage and kill everyone. I don't know if that's what it's trying to do. So I got really involved in like trying to think of what they're trying to do when you watch this video, what actually happens. Your animal instincts and inhibitions all come out and you literally can't control everything. You just go on a mad rampage. Kind of something like 28 Days Later. Do you know what I mean? When the person gets bit by the monkey and just literally goes off on a madness. I think this is kind of it. But for me, again, the colouring by Geordie Belair is out of this world. Like on that panel on the left hand side, I just thought it was really, really great. I really enjoyed it, and I think the narrative of this is getting very interesting now, because I'm, for one, want to know who that woman is. Like she's literally on every single move. Like she's there in the car park on the last panel, and it's just getting really interesting now. And I think this is one of the stories that I've been eagerly anticipating to read since issue 1.
Do we think she's related to him? The guy with the white hair, or there's something connecting the two together, because she's got white hair too.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I did think that, and it seems a bit iffy that they kind of, the people that are hunting her down know about him as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But that's me, Andy.
Where do I start?
God. Do we all just turn off now?
Wow, it's going to be like pickups all over again.
Oh fuck.
I think it's really interesting what you were saying at the start there, Tom, about, you know, you go into Instagram or social media and you start scrolling, because this book, this comic feels a little bit like that. Issue 1, I was reading and I went, "Oh, this is interesting." Issue 2, I was kind of like, "Oh," but I was still scrolling. I was still turning those pages, and I'm in issue 3, and it won't let me out. I went down that proverbial rabbit hole and I can't get out. There's definitely lots of things happening in this story, in this book, and the central story is all about this undernet that they talk about. And then there's that naked lady whose name is Fear, that is still walking about with no dialogue, doing horrible things to people, and I still don't know why or what it's all about. And I'm still so intrigued. I'm still scrolling. I'm still turning those pages. I can't get away. And that is probably the beauty, and what Tynion does best is he grabs you in and you can't let go. Specifically for this issue, guys, I thought this was really dialogue heavy compared to the other issues. There was a lot of sort of exposition. Is that the word? Which I found quite a challenge at some points, but then it was broken up quite nicely by the fantastic Fernando Blanco artwork. And as you mentioned, Charlie, that the colour work by Geordie Belair is absolutely stunning. I have a theory, guys. Do you want to hear it?
Yes.
I do. No.
Do we have a jingle for theory time?
Shall I go? Do I need to go and sit over there and kind of rock?
It's theory time with Perpetual, baby. There we go.
Bye.
Oh, I've really built this up now. Everybody's going to do that's a bit shit. So you remember, and I think it was issue number 1, that shush, quiet, calm yourself. Do you remember in issue 1, the Feds referred to their boss as the
Yeah.
devil,
yeah,
and then your man Gabriel, he runs a search engine called Angel.
Angel, yes.
So I think this book is all about good versus evil.
Versus evil, yeah.
I think what we're going to find in this book is a type of exorcism, and they're going to exorcise the internet.
Well, he says that, doesn't he?
From
He
evil.
says, he says that he has to exercise. If we don't carry out the exorcism on your girlfriend, she's going to turn and the world's going to end. Yes.
But that, now you've said that, if you connect the dots, if they're called devil, he's got a company called Angel, and his name's Gabriel, as in the angel Gabriel.
Yeah.
And then obviously the woman's called Fear.
Yeah.
So fear in my eyes is the devil.
Yes.
Is Satan, and then you've got Gabriel, who's going to play the part of God, and the exorcism is to take the evils of the internet or the undernet out of these people.
Yes.
Mate,
Perpetual theory. No, honestly, I'm like this. When I was reading this, I got, as you said, like you find yourself just keep turning the page, and you're like, the story's finished, and I'm just looking through it again and again. And I think what Dan Dixon has said, like rereading issues number 1 and 2. We say it time and time again, like some stories are better when you get them in trade paperback. But with a story like this, like reading issue 1, issue 2, and issue 3 again, you kind of go back and you notice things that you didn't notice beforehand. Like when I read this the first time, I didn't notice that she had a gorilla coming out of her. And then when I read it again, I was like, how did I not notice that the first time round? And I think that's a sign of 1, a good colorist, 2, a good writer, and 3, a good like penciler. Because if you're looking at it and you can't notice it, and then you go back, you're like, it's the same story. How the hell has my brain not figured out that I'm literally reading the same page again and I'm noticing different things? Like that page in the middle looks like one of the old 3D glasses, the old red and green. And it looks like
I wonder if you were to wear 3D glasses, what you would see.
And that's a good point, because it's also interesting as well what Chris Bell has said. He says, I'm not on this at all, but I note the 3 pages all have completely different colouring. Is that like a perspective thing, different people or different worlds or something? It's true. Like this, it really does have, like, for me, it really, like, as soon as I started reading it, it does have the Ring video vibes. You've got like 7 days or 7 minutes or 7 seconds before you tell someone else that they have to watch it. The thing that I didn't understand, though, is that when they was taking his girlfriend out, she was like, oh my God, I've seen it. And they turned around and said, yeah, we've seen it before, don't worry. So how did they get through it?
I think this will come back to Gabriel with his white hair.
Exorcism.
Did he get out and then get everyone else out?
Or did he get out of it and it strained him so much it drained all the colour from him? Like it did his, I reckon that's his sister. I reckon Fear's his sister.
Yeah, I do too.
Is this a sign of a good book, guys? This is the closet all over again, where we start.
Exactly. And another James Tynion.
Yeah.
It goes back to your theory, Andy, of good versus evil. Like they're that close, but they're so far apart, because it could be different, but you wrote it like bottom right hand corner, you've got Fear, then in the middle you've got Gabriel. They kind of look the same. I think it's definitely, I think you're onto a winner there, mate. Good versus evil, the devil versus God. Or
is it Adam and Eve? Is the poisoned apple the internet that we can't resist?
So I'm going to give this story, I reckon I can't give it anything other than an 8, if I'm honest. I still think there's that little bit there that there's certain things that could make it better. So I'm 8 across the board, writing, drawing and colouring.
I think for me, I'm going to give it a solid 7 for intrigue alone. Like, it doesn't necessarily, like, this could end and it doesn't necessarily need to be a good story, but it's the fact that I don't want to miss an issue, and that's the main thing.
There we go. Oh, lads, good and evil are the same sides of the same coin. They will be siblings. You've nailed it. You heard it here first. It's a Killer Comics exclusive.
Would you Adam and Eve it?
Would you Adam and Eve it? Thomas, what are you giving this one, sir?
I'm going to go with you, mate. I'm going to stick with the same. I'm going to say a solid 8, because, like Andy said, it's whether it's a good story or not, I'm hooked. I want to read issue 4. I want to see where it gets. I'm scrolling for days. Put it that way.
Mm-hmm. It's very interesting. And also, what I liked at the end of this was that if you scroll through it, you've got 4 pages of swan songs. which was pretty interesting.
That
Swanson's issue
was
number 1, which was
that
a
was
nice
a,
little
that
touch.
was a nice little. It was a little, you know, a little taste of what we're going to get in that book. But yeah, see whenever this is released on like hardback or whatever,
Yeah.
I want them to include a little thumb drive that you need to put into your computer, and something comes up. You know what I mean? I think that would be really cool.
I wonder how many people, if they actually did that, wouldn't do it.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, don't press the red button, and you want to press the red button.
Yeah.
You know, like it'd be cool. Or if they sold this as a digital comic only on a USB, and said don't plug it into your computer.
And if you don't want to hit the red button, just hit the subscribe button for Killer Comics.
Exactly. And
did you
hit
see what I did
up.
there? Did you see what I did there?
I did. I saw what you did there. Yeah.
It's like a well-oiled machine. So that's a great way to start. 8 and a 7 across the board. Great comic. Can't wait for issue number 4. Final, the cutoff. Top 3. It's that time again. It is again. So obviously we're shouting out about Slab Crusaders because we've all bought from there. We all enjoy their stuff. There's loads of people in the chat that work with them, not work with them, that buy from them and everything. And obviously, final order cutoff is the date retailers must submit their orders before publishers set their print runs. Now, obviously, orders must be for Slab Crusaders. Orders must be placed before 9 p.m. each Saturday.
Sunday. It's Sunday.
Is it Saturday?
I think he's changed it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's changed it now to Sunday, so even extra time to do it. So we'll make sure that we update that slide for next week. That was my bad.
There we go. So you've got an extra day. An extra day's grace. See, I blame the clocks going backwards about 4 months ago.
The clocks?
This month, yeah, the clocks. There we go.
The clocks.
So as we're shouting Slab Crusaders, I thought it might be good to ask James what he would actually. He runs the shop, so I thought it might be good what he would actually pick up from FOC, and he's gone for the Amazing Spider-Man 300, the facsimile edition foil variant, Marvel Comics, written by David McNally, Michelini and Todd McFarlane. It's a pretty decent cover. I think this one's going to fly off the shelves. I think it's quite nice.
It'd be cool.
I'm actually scanning it as we speak to go in and order it.
Does it work? Does it work? Does it work?
Yes, it does.
There we go. Winner, chicken dinner. So yeah, this is great. And don't worry, it doesn't come with the massive foil over the front of it. It will just be a foil cover.
Oh, I don't want it then. If it's not going to have big, massive art words in foil.
Silver foil. That's the ASM 300. Then we've got Andy. This was your pick, wasn't it?
No, it was yours.
Oh, was it mine? Oh, there we go. It was Night Terrors, the Joker, issue number 2, DC Comics, written by Matthew Rosenberg and art by Stefano Raffaelli. Again, what I mentioned earlier, this is Ryan Brown at his finest. This is just freaky. And I think, Tom, you said in our chat a couple of days ago, how do they come up with covers like this?
Yeah, mate, I'd love to know how they come up with covers like this. I mean, who in their right mind would come up with something like that? But at the same time, I find it really interesting to look at. Like, you can't not look at it or be intrigued by the genius that's gone into it. But why would you have the Joker stuffing a load of bears in his mouth?
Let's ask the question to Ryan Brown on socials and see what his mindset was like whenever he was coming up with this concept.
And the thing is, Ryan Brown is very good at he's very good at getting back in messages and stuff like that. So yeah, I think we could find out a lot more about this. But I think it's great again, and it ties into the same one for issue number 1. So that's why I went for it. Tom.
Yeah, so I went for Children of the Vault issue 1, which is a new series coming out as an X-Men tie-in about the Children in the Vault. But I've gone for the Miss Minutes variant cover by Bestie Collar. I'm looking forward to this. I think Miss Minutes has got a bit of time coming on, to be fair. Because there's quite a few covers that are coming out for FOC this week that have got Miss Minutes on. This is the best one, in my opinion. There is a really nice Todd Nook. Is it Todd Nook? Is that how you say his name?
Todd Nook. Is it Todd Nook? Todd Nook.
Todd Nook. There's a really good cover that he's done as well, but this is the best one. And I really like the simplicity of it. And it's almost like, do you remember the TV show Bewitched? Was it Bewitched?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's very similar to that. And it's kind of that timeless classic. So yeah, that's why I went for it this week.
And it's written by Declan Shalvey as well, I noticed.
It is, mate. Yeah.
Surprising.
Yes.
Cool.
And it's good, this one. And then
we might tell you what Charlie said in the chat about when I sent this through. So I went for Star Wars: Return of the Jedi, Max Rebo, issue number 1 of Marvel Comics, written by Daniel Jose Older, and artwork is by Paul Fry. I think there's 3 different covers for this one, and this is my favorite. I think the other one, cover B, is it Lee Garrett, and it's like a connecting cover. So you should definitely go check that out as well. Charlie, what do you think of this cover?
Right, so this is where my mind goes to. Right, so this is where my mind goes to. I literally just see Big Blue Dick and Cheerio Fingers.
Nice.
Oh, anyway, moving on. If that doesn't sell it for you, like James from Slab Crusaders is just sitting going, "Oh my goodness!" The whole point, lad, is to promote some of these books. But if you want to go and get a Big Blue Dick and some Cheerio Fingers, then hit that QR code.
You have a couple of beers, and like FOC is not due until Sunday night at 9 o'clock. What better thing to do than have a look at Big Blue Dick, Cheerio Fingers? Go for it.
Scan that QR code, guys, if you're after a Big Blue Dick.
Yeah, and that's it. That's the title of his upcoming autobiography. Chris Bellend. There we go.
The Big Blue
Ding
Dick.
dong. The Big Blue Dick. There. Not sure why, but I see Dr. Manhattan from Watchmen.
Yeah,
exactly.
The ding dong issue.
It is the ding dong issue. So yeah, so that's the FOC. Head over to Slab Crusaders. But that's not all. There are 4 picks. That's not all. We've got this to show for you. So this is the Killer Comic Show Alex Ross connecting cover sets from Marvel Comics, written by Jed McKay, art by Carlos Vida. And we have this for the 60th anniversary of Marvel. Alex Ross is doing these fantastic 8 connecting covers. Now, we've worked with Slab Crusaders to get this. So if you scan that barcode, you can head over to Slab Crusaders now, and it will take you to the Killer Comic Show Alex Ross connecting cover sets page. And you can pick up 8 fantastic covers for £20. You can scan this now, head over, and you can get an absolute bargain. So this is a winner.
8 covers in total. So 4 for the first set, 4 for the second. These are going to be released between August and September. So if you order these up, it should be some point in September that you actually receive them. So you can either stack them at that point and get some more stuff or whatever. But we can't guarantee how long that link is going to be on the website. So if you are considering getting this, guys, and I don't like to guarantee things, and I won't, but I would say you'll find it difficult to get these 8 comics for that price. So go and order them up for 20 quid. It's a bargain.
And me and Andy have already purchased them today.
Yeah, I've ordered it. So,
but I think they're fantastic. And this is the only and the first Alex Ross thing I've ever bought.
It's a good one to start with.
It is an amazing one to start with. And I looked deep into this, and I was like, these are fantastic. Amazing.
So this is obviously like a Jim Lee homage, the one on the bottom.
Yeah, the X-Men one.
Yeah, and then the one at the top is obviously like the heroes. So is there villains in as well? Yeah, there's some villains in as well. So it's like a homage between the two. So it's quite cool.
But yeah, so scan away until your heart's content. Head over and get them. You can get the 8 connecting covers. You can get 4 for each, or you can just pick up whatever one you like. But yeah, make sure you head over there, because as Andy mentioned, I don't think for that price and how fantastic these covers are, they won't be around for long.
No, definitely.
So make sure you head over there. So yeah, there's 5 fantastic options for you to head over, and obviously head over to Slab Crusaders anyway, and you'll be able to pick up loads. There's Marvel, there's DC, there's Indie, there's Cover, FOC, and everything.
I'm just going to very, very quickly. I noticed that Slab Crusaders are now on Instagram.
Yes.
Everything's been updated, their pitching and stuff like that. So I think they've only got maybe 2 or 3 followers. So if you can, guys, go and give them a follow on Instagram. That would be much appreciated, and just let them know that the Killer Comic Show sent you.
Definitely, go for it. So that's that done. FOC's out of the way, comics out of the way, covers out of the way. It's time for Petrol's Indie Picks.
Petrol's Indie Picks, na 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 na. Petrol's Indie Picks.
I love this. I love him.
Na 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 na.
Okay, that's enough talk. Yes, Killer Indie Picks for next week. I went for Fish Flies, issue number 1.
Great choice.
Talking about this book for literally months, because I know
I'm pretty sure this has been in your indie picks at least 3 times.
It definitely feels that way, and so I'm so looking forward to reading this. It's by Jeff Lemire doing the writing and the artwork, and well done, Peter.
There we go, Triple G. Of course it was. And you've only just bought them. I thought you would at least bought 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he's just starting that. You know, like he's in the rabbit hole now. That's the
Yes,
thing.
he is.
So this is from Image Comics, Fish Flies issue number 1. I don't even remember if I have a little bit of blurb about this because it just feels as if we've spoken about it so many times. Guys, it kind of sells itself. It's Jeff Lemire doing writing and doing artwork. So dive in. Guys, we'll probably review this, I would imagine.
I read the new comic book day one of this, and I seriously enjoyed it. Like, I really enjoyed it. I'm still reading Little Monsters, and I'm enjoying that as well. I kind of went on the tangent of reading Jeff Lemire, and then I read, I think it was called Family Tree that he did for Image ages ago, and then he kind of went on to May's book, which I think we can all agree after about 3 or 4 issues kind of fell flat, because I think it was Panels and a Half Pint that kind of gave an explanation, blew our minds out of the way, and then from that I couldn't really concentrate and it fell a bit flat. Then he went on to Little Monsters, which me and Andy, I think it was me and you, Andy, that said after 6 issues that was it, would have been done. And then it carried on for another 6 issues, and I was like, oh, this is actually quite interesting, but it could have finished at issue 6. Fish Flies was great. I loved it.
Did you read the Free Comic Book Day issue, Tom?
I did, mate. I thought it was great.
Yeah, you thought it was good. Yeah,
I really hope that it gets voted for.
I can't remember if I did read it, which isn't a good thing, but which tells me I probably didn't. So
I don't think you did. I don't think you did,
No.
because Ed Vick very kindly went out and got my new comic books day for me, and I remember messaging on the group chat, and Tom said he'd already picked up and already read it. So I'm just really looking forward to this. Have any of you been watching the Netflix TV series? What was it?
Which one?
It was based on a Jeff Lemire story. Is it?
The one about
Tooth.
the
Sweet Tooth.
Yeah,
Sweet Tooth. That's great as well.
Awesome.
That's
awesome.
It's so
great.
good.
Even better comic. That would be a high recommendation for me.
So, but yeah, cool.
Yeah. So that's our first recommendation. Second indie pick, and this is a really strong one from my perspective because I've read the first couple of issues. Is Something Epic issue number 3. This is written and artwork by Simone Kudransky. And guys, the first 2 issues of this is absolutely spectacular. Again, I'd recommend if you want to go and hear some thoughts from myself and Peter, we reviewed issue number 2 of this. The artwork is absolutely stunning. It is really, really good. And again, a little bit like the Tinian book that we've read. It's one of those ones you're intrigued. You're down that rabbit hole, and you cannot miss an issue. So, have either of you guys picked up either of the first 2 issues?
I've got the first 2 ready, loaded to read, but I just haven't read them. I want to read them. I've heard really good things, so I am excited to read this one. But no, I haven't. I'll be honest.
I've read the first 2 issues, and it's great. It just gives me David Bowie vibes of Labyrinth every single time I look at the covers. It's amazing. It's a really good comic.
Nice. Next up, we have from Boom Studios. We have Sirens of the City issue number 1. This is written by Joanne Starer, and the artwork is by Kerry Randolph. Tom, you look excited for this one.
I am excited for this one, mate. This is my pick for next week if people want to vote for it.
Yeah, sold. I think if we've got these 3 books up plus whatever else is up, it's going to be a tough choice to see which one we go for. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. The artwork for me is really intriguing. I should have put up a couple of the inside pages, but yeah, another number 1 by Boom Studios. And it's fair to say, guys, I don't know if you guys are the same, but Boom Studios seem to be really quiet this year when it comes to big books, good books.
I've honestly seen more of AWA than I have of Boom, if I'm being honest. Like, other than pushing out like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Scooby-Doo, or whatever they're comparison with.
I think that's all been IDW though, not Boom.
That's what I'm saying. So Mighty Morphin Power Rangers has gone away from Boom. Like, IDW have taken it out, like all the crossovers and stuff like that. It doesn't seem to be that much coming from Boom. Like, you look in the past couple of years, Boom were pushing them out. Now they're kind of, there's nothing really there.
I think this one for me might be one of those ones that go a little bit under the radar, and a lot of people will miss it. So I would suggest if you're going to get on this, get on it quick, because I think this could be a popular title, in my opinion. So
I think if these 3 comics are up for the vote next week, that'd be interesting.
yeah, it'll be good. It'll be a good one. 3 indies as well. So there you go. So yeah, that's my indie picks for next week, guys.
Boom. So I know a few people have been waiting for this. You would have seen the thumbnail. Obviously, we've got the main man himself.
Love those intros.
Good quality, isn't they?
Yeah,
this is your week, Andy.
This is my baby. I chose Lobo as my character showcase. My favorite DC character, but I know that there's a lot of people who either love him or hate him, and there's a lot of people who just don't have an opinion because they don't know enough about him.
Mm-hmm.
Very much a sort of late 1980s to 1990s character. So you'll probably have seen him in 1 or 2 books that you recognise, and hopefully this will give you a taste about what the character's all about. Do you guys know much about Lobo? Is that a character that you enjoy?
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know that much about him. I think if I've been watching his certain TV series and I've seen his appearance, or I've been reading comics and he's appeared. I do know I own like 1 or 2 Funko Pops of him, and the detailing on him is great. He just seems like a badass character that I wish I knew more about, and unfortunately I don't. So I'm really looking forward to this week.
Love it. Nice segue. So let's delve in and have a look at Lobo. There's probably lots of things that I've missed on this that I don't even know. So guys in the chat or on the rewind, please comment. Let us know what you know about Lobo. What's your thoughts? What's your
favorite? Big Blue Dick with Cheerio Fingers has now joined the chat in the last category. Looking forward to finding out.
Do you know the funny thing is, though? He's going to forget to change his name back. And he's going to go on another show and comment.
If anyone wants to send comics or he wins or Chris Bell wins a giveaway, please note that you have to send them to the Big Blue Dick with Cheerio Fingers at his address. Okay, going forward. And if anyone sends anything, I want proof that it was sent like that. You can post it and wish out on Instagram. Love that.
Send them a packet of Cheerios. That'd be funny. Oh, brilliant. Love you, Chris. So without further ado, let's rock and roll with some Lobo here. So Lobo this is your little bit of history here and a little bit of education. It's Spanish and Portuguese for wolf. Not a lot of people know that.
Do you know what? I only found that out when I typed in Lobo. I was finding one of the pictures for the intro. And I literally typed in Lobo and it comes up with all these pictures of wolves, like so many wolves. I had to type in Lobo DC to get the picture of him.
And
I did that.
Yeah.
But then Google corrected me and said, turn it to DC logo.
There we go. Listen, these whenever I realized that it was actually meant wolf, I was like, I looked at the character and I went, right, okay, that makes so much sense now. So he's a character appearing in comics books published by DC Comics, and he was created by Roger Slifer and Keith Giffen, and first appeared in Omega Men issue number 3, and that was released in June 1993. So you'll see,
by the off chance, is actually on FOC as a facsimile at the moment. If people want to go and grab this one.
Indeed, you can also get it as a foil variant as well. I think me and Tom were thinking about picking that up. But yeah, this is a great book. This actually a really good series as well. The Omega Men, so I definitely highly recommend it. And I think we put in our introduction for the show that Lobo's an alien from the utopian planet of Czarnia. I'm going to commit to that. I think that's how you pronounce it. And he works as an interstellar mercenary and bounty hunter. And that's the thing that intrigued me about this character, is the fact that he was a bit of a bounty hunter. Because as soon as I heard that, the first thing that came into my mind was Star Wars and the great Boba Fett, who's my favourite Star Wars character. So that's what kind of intrigued me to this particular character. Lobo enjoys nothing better than mindless violence. Now, when I say mindless violence, if you haven't read any Lobo books, they don't hold back on the violence in those books. There's plenty of slaughter. I know this might be a little bit contentious, but he actually, in one of the books, killed his dog by jumping on him. So, yeah, either, as I say, you love him or you hate him. And he loves getting drunk and killing everything. He's arrogant and self-centered, focusing almost solely on his own pleasures. Lobo is the last of his kind, having committed complete genocide by killing all the other Czarnians. I knew I was going to get this wrong. Czarnians for fun. As detailed in Lobo issue 0, Lobo unleashed a violent plague of flying scorpions upon his home world, killing most of its citizens. Now, the reason why we say most of his citizens, because in one of the later books, they actually discovered that there was one other person who was actually off planet at the time. It was actually his high school teacher that was another survivor, but last spoilers, he killed her as well. On the right hand side, guys, I put up the cover. I think it's a fantastic cover of him.
That's great.
Pick
me a winner.
It absolutely sums him up perfectly. So, with regards to Lobo, he was kind of looked upon as being one of those sort of grim and gritty characters, and he was parodied a lot. And these are some of the parody characters that were introduced. So you had Dirty Wolf with 2 Fs, importantly.
Dirty Wolf.
Dirty Wolf, and you also had Blood Wolf as well. So these were characters that were introduced by the likes of Image Comics and by Marvel to kind of a parody Lobo, because everybody just kind of disregarded him and thought he was just a kind of a crap character. Yeah. So ABZ saying here, I've doubled up on my FOMO on Lobo, mainly because he's such a great character. Told you. And high grade slabs seem very reasonable. Picked up 2 Amiga Men 3s, 9.60s last year for pretty damn cheap. Yeah, you'll find a lot of these books, especially the key books, which we'll go into in this. You can get them for next to nothing, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So the shock for DC was that a lot of fans really loved Lobo and they really embraced the character. And that led to his sort of popularity, and in the 1990s, a whole raft of books were published with various stories of him. Fun fact, guys, Stan Lee said that Lobo is his favourite DC character. Did you know that?
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah. So again, any other reason to start reading some of his stories if the main man himself likes it, then you know it's good.
Did you know that there's a quite a famous, obviously, you know, Simon Bisley did a lot of artwork for Lobo and kind of made him quite popular during the 90s. There is a book written by Simon Bisley and Kevin Eastman that is a Lobo book, and that is pretty damn good, to be fair, because Kevin Eastman is a real heavy metal kind of lover, and he does they do the whole thing as a homage to heavy metal.
As is Simon Bisley as well. He loves his metal. And
the Biz is awesome.
Oh, he's awesome. Absolutely fantastic.
Dude can outdrink most people I've ever met in my life.
Without doubt. Absolutely, without doubt. So I mentioned the Amiga Men run of books. So these are some of the key books within that run. So you'll get Amiga Men issue number 5. That's the second appearance of Lobo. And this is where his name was actually revealed. So for those of us who maybe can't afford to get the first appearance, this is a good book, and you can normally pick this up for a couple of quid in the back issue bins. Wow. You've got Amiga Men issue number 20. Again, this was another part. This was like a partial origin story, because the thing with Lobo is he's been sort of retconned that much that his origin story has been changed at least 2 or 3 times. So it's quite difficult to get a grip of what he's about. And it was only in 1990 when he done his 4-issue series that you got an updated and the Lobo that we know now, effectively. The last issue there, guys, is Amiga Men issue number 37. This is the first solo story. And again, another partial origin of him. So within 17 issues, he changed his origin twice in this run. For what reason, I'm not entirely sure, but this is considered a key book with regards to Lobo. Any of you guys got these books in your PC?
No,
Not me, mate.
But
I've
I've got the Biz ones.
Yeah.
I'm literally on eBay now. And
Picking them up.
I've just picked up Omega.
I only have it. Listen, I only have it because of my love of Lobo. That's the only reason. But these can completely bypass you. These books. How many Omega Men fans do you know? Not very many.
Not many at all.
The next issue that is of importance is Justice League International. This is issue number 18. And this is basically where you find out a lot more about Lobo's character. And he develops into the character that we know and love now. So this was released in June 1988. So if you want to find out the backstory and how his character is developed, this would be an issue that you definitely need to pick up.
Mm-hmm.
Issue 5.
Guy Gardner cry.
Jason Momoa was rumored to be. Yes, he was.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you guys think about Jason Momoa as?
I've seen someone's done like an AI mock-up, and he does look quite good.
Yeah, he does. But do we think Jason Momoa is too?
I think he's too much of
a good guy. Like he plays a lot of good guys. He would probably ruin his good guy image to play Lobo. Yeah. Carl Urban, on the other hand, as in from The Boys, could play quite a good Lobo.
Yeah, absolutely great shout. Because my question would be: is how accurate could they get to the comics? And unless this is like an 18+, there's no way that they couldn't go near it.
Mm-hmm.
But again, that's why they've linked, because of the success of Deadpool, and because that was an 18+. That's why making a Lobo, because Lobo effectively for me is a little bit like Deadpool. It's the DC version of him. So so moving on with the publication history, we move on to Legion issue number 5. So after Lobo was so well received in Justice League issue number 18, he started to become a regular in the Legion series, and Legion issue number 5 is when he actually joined that team. So again, if you're looking to pick up a minor key for your Lobo collection, this would be the one to look out for.
That Hitler Tash is awful. This is the book that I've got.
I love this book. It's such a great cover. The Biz has just knocked out this cover right out the park. So in 1990, he appeared.
The Biz is the one. Sorry, go on, mate. Sorry.
No, go on, Tom.
I was going to say the Biz is who created the look of the Lobo that we now love today. Like he created the beard, the Wolverine style hair, the tattoos, everything. I think the Biz is the one who wrote the fact that Lobo can go toe to toe with Superman on Superman's best day.
Which he has in some stories as well. He's up against Superman on many of occasions. But the interesting thing that I think about this cover is how much inspiration, in my opinion, the Biz drew from his Judge Dredd days, because it has that kind of a like Judge Dredd chin as well. It's got that look about him. But yeah, this is one of my
those
favorite
chins
ones.
where he can blow his nose and wipe his ass at the same time.
Exactly one of those ones. You know them well. So this is a 4-issue miniseries. My favorite Lobo story. This was 1990, and this was the last. I'm doing it again. Czarnia, plotted by Giffen, written by Alan Grant, and as I said, art by Simon Bisley, the Biz, which changed his origin story again. So he became the last Czarnian after violently killing every other member of the species. So that's what I was mentioning. They actually discovered there was one person that was off planet, and it was his school teacher, and he killed her as well. So this mini-series, because of the popularity and how well it went down, kind of led to all the subsequent mini-series and specials that he done. And I'm going to touch on a few of those. Do you recognise any of these characters, lads? Any?
That's Lobo's dog.
That's his poor dog. Yeah. So this is Dog. That was the name, DAWG. And
is that Lobo's? Yeah, go on.
I was going to say it's a bulldog that he often claims is not, it's not his, but he only claims that it's not his whenever it gets into trouble. So it's like your own pet. No, it's not my dog, and
So
if it does it wrong.
these are blatant guesses. Is that Lobo's love interest?
Is that his teacher?
Almost. So that is Ramona in the middle, and she is a bail bondswoman, and she also has a hairdressing salon. So she works with him as part of his bounty hunting. So she basically gives out the jobs and stuff like that.
She looks like Dog the Bounty Hunter.
She does, doesn't she? I think it's super. I love that old school artwork from the late 80s. I think it's fantastic. The last guy there is Jonas Glim, and he's just another bounty hunter. They sometimes could be good best of friends. The other times they could be the worst enemies. These two.
Yeah.
But Dan's some see the Slain covers that the Biz has done out of this world. I'd highly recommend it. So that's some of Lobo's acquaintances. A motley crew, you must admit. We move on to some of the later publications, and you may or may not have recognized some of these covers, but we've got Lobocop issue number 1, and this, as it looks, was a parody of Robocop, complete and utter parody, the Bastich of law enforcement, and that's what a lot of Lobo books were known for, was parodying other characters or other entities.
Mm-hmm.
Tom, do you recognise that cover, the Lobocop one?
I do, mate. Yeah, I'm. Is it a Bisley cover?
No, I don't think it's Bisley. No, don't think it's Bisley. I don't think it is.
I have seen it before.
Yeah, it's a great story. It's one of those ones, just park your mind to the side and read this, and you'll get a laugh at it, I must admit.
These amazing covers, though.
Keeps coming in and out, so I apologise right now.
No worries, Tom. Go ahead.
He has
Tom.
had some amazing covers.
Fantastic. And that's why a lot of people pick them up first and foremost, is for the covers. But I'd highly recommend you read some of the stories. Now, the second cover there is Blazing Chain of Love, and that is a fantastic story as well. So he's effective, and when I say violent, this is like not for the faint-hearted, and it's effectively where he's sent on a bounty hunting job in a harem. So guys, I won't go into more detail. Check it out and see for yourself.
It's a Dan Brereton cover.
There we go. But Dan knows his stuff. For me, and my one of my favourite books was the Paramilitary Christmas Special. And this is where Lobo is contracted by the Easter Bunny to assassinate Santa Claus. If that doesn't sell it, absolutely nothing will, guys.
Sounds awesome.
I'll repeat, Lobo is contracted by the Easter Bunny to assassinate Santa Claus. I think it's fantastic. Either you guys read this? I'm guessing by your faces that you're like, what is going on?
No, but that's awesome.
No, but it sounds like...
I'm going on eBay now to get that bad boy.
That honestly sounds like a Christmas special. I want to get involved in.
It's super. It's not one of those ones you would read on Christmas Eve to your kids and anything like that. Like, don't get me wrong. So, but yeah, I definitely recommend that. Then we have some books that we were talking about Superman and them fighting against Lobo. So, Adventures of Superman 464, which was in March 1990. This was the first meeting and battle of Superman versus Lobo. And I think it lasted for at least 4 or 5 issues. Don't correct me in that one in the chat, please, if I'm wrong. But again, another fantastic run and some great covers. Lobo and Mask. This was a 2-issue series.
Great series. Great.
Awesome.
Book.
Absolutely brilliant. The artwork in this is superb. This was February 1997, and this was a 2-part limited series. And you can just imagine the madness of this book. You've got Lobo and you've got Mask. Like, what could go wrong? It's a great story, and it's only 2 issues. Easy to pick up. Then we've got Lobo the Duck. Again, another parody book here from 1997. And this was a one-shot featuring the combined characters of Lobo from DC and Howard the Duck from Marvel. Don't know how they got away with it, but it was under the amalgam publisher. So they're obviously just combining the two characters and mashing it up as you were. Any of those crossovers interest you, boys?
All of them.
I've got the Lobo versus Mask one.
It's great. Absolutely
great
brilliant.
series.
So it is. Okay, and this is the last slide, guys. As I said, this was a whistle-stop tour of Lobo. But I wanted for everybody to take away a book that I think, if there was going to be one book that you pick up, which one would it be? And for me, it would be the one-shot Batman Lobo crossover. So the synopsis is the Batman versus the main man. When the Joker hires Lobo to kill the Dark Knight, it's not what you'd expect. Actually, it's exactly what you'd expect. The no-holds-barred battle of the century erupts in Batman Lobo, a prestige format Elseworlds one-shot that reunites Lobo writer Alan Grant with the bad boy artist who put Lobo on the map, Simon Bisley. Guys, go pick this up. Not an easy book, I should say, to find, but you should be able to find it digitally somewhere. This would be my recommendation, guys. Absolutely superb.
This looks wicked.
Yeah, the artwork is phenomenal in this, and it's really brutal. It's no holds barred, especially if you don't, if you're not a big Batman fan. James Comic Deal would love this book. But guys, that's my whistle stop tour of all things Lobo.
What actually got you into Lobo? Because obviously for me, Lobo is a character that I wasn't really privy to. Like, I knew Judge Dredd, I knew kind of Spawn, obviously Wolverine and stuff like that. But with Lobo, I don't feel like I know enough about him to think, how did I even miss him?
No, it's a really good question. It's this book here. I picked this book up. I got it, and I think it was one of the local shops in Glasgow. I picked it up, and it was the cover that intrigued me, and I knew the cover artist because of my love of Judge Dredd. And a lot of the books and a lot of the characters that I love are as a result of either writers or artists that have moved on to other things in DC and Marvel and so forth. So this was a book that got me into Lobo, and it just kind of went from there.
Tom?
My love of Lobo comes from the Justice League animated TV show that was on Cartoon Network years ago. There was an episode where Lobo turns up because Superman's gone AWOL, and he basically steps in and becomes the Superman. And I thought, this character's cool. I'm going to look back at it. And then I stumbled across the same book that Andy got, the Simon Bisley book, and just fell in love with the character. Just because of his character design, it's just so badass. And he just looks like a heavy metal, motorbike driving badass. So I just thought, yeah, love it. Got to get involved.
Yeah, no, definitely. He seems like a really fun character. And as I said, I picked up a couple of Funko Pops over the years of him. And the detailing on that they're great. They're really great. And there's like definitely 5 or 6 books within this Whistle Stop tour, Andy, that I'm kind of just going to get my hands on. And I think Lobo is a character I kind of want to get invested in now.
Yeah, I'd highly recommend it, guys. Even just pick up a couple of books to see if you like it. It's not for everybody, but I just think he's a really intriguing character.
You've done a good job there, man. Like, this is what I really like about when we all got our brains together and came up with like this character or creator showcase, because we all love comics and we all love reading and stuff like that, and so do the chat, but there might be characters that you don't know enough about to want to get involved in, like Spawn, for instance, and Lobo. For me, I've really enjoyed doing this, and even though we put all these slides together and they get sent to me and we put them in the pack and go on, I purposely don't read them if there's a character I want to learn about. So I'm learning, totally. I'm enjoying it, and I'm really, really great. So massive shout out to you two for the 2 slides over the last couple of weeks that you've put together.
No, I appreciate that. And I think what we're going to do as well is it's not just going to be characters we're going to look at. I think we're going to look at artists. We're going to look at any creators of any sort. And I think we maybe kick that off next week if I remember correctly. So looking forward to that.
Yes. But so that was a Lobo in-depth Whistle Stop tour. And now we're already at the Killer Covers scoreboard. So, Tom, this is interesting for me because I can't see it. So I kind of like this added element because, Tom, you've taken over the reins of this voting for the last couple of weeks. So let me know the bad news.
Well, the bad news is it's not working.
I've got it here.
Okay, right.
It's popped up here. You see it?
Have I gone, or am I still here?
You're still here. We can
You're
hear
still
you.
here,
okay, cool. So in third place, It should be no surprise. It's Charlie with 16%. In second place is me with 40%, which means Andy has run away with it again this week with an astonishing 43%. 3% in it, Andy.
I didn't even get a chance to turn my bots on for this week as well because I was doing the Lobo thing. So thank you guys. I appreciate you.
Right, do you know what we're going to do? Right, next week, Andy, congratulations. Tom, congratulations for coming second. Next week, I'm going to let the chat choose my cover for me.
Oh, no, right? no, because you're doing the sympathy vote, Charlie. I know you. You rascal.
No, I've got a good one lined up for next week. I've already picked it and I've already sent it through to Tom for the Canva Instagram approval. So it doesn't matter. I could pick him 6 weeks in advance and I still wouldn't fucking win. I could fall into a boob of tits and come up sucking a dick. That's how bad my luck is at the moment.
Oh my
but would it be a big blue dick?
It probably would, and with my Cheerio fingers, I'd come up sucking a big blue dick. There we go.
Things were going so well, guys, and we needed to end on that.
But we can end on this. So as I mentioned last week, I got my name back from the Instagram bots that stole it from me. So you can find me at instagram.com/geekyguycomics and over at twitter.com/geekyguycomics.
You can find me at perpetual.comics on the old Instagram and perpetual comics, all one word, on Twitter. And you can also, as of today, find me on Threads because I got a little bit of FOMO. I got pure FOMO,
yeah.
And it seems to be great. And I was like, why is this so great? Because there's no ads. When you're scrolling, it's just people's thoughts and there's no ads. So yeah, you can find me on there as well. But yeah, Tom.
Yeah, you can find me on Threads as well, and Instagram as usual. I'm not quite mint on Instagram, but if you want some PT advice or any advice with your health and fitness in any way, shape, or form, you can give me a shout, and I'm on Tom Malin at PT as well.
And then obviously Instagram.com/The Killer Comic Show over on Instagram and Twitter.com/Killer Comic Show. And we're on Threads as well. I'm sure we'll do a post about that in the next couple of days where basically Threads is the meta version of Twitter for Instagram and Facebook users. So head over there and you can check that out. And then also you've got Slab Crusaders, which is Instagram.com/The Slab Crusaders. I have to shout out and say, do head over and go through this chat or go back onto the internet and go to Slab Crusaders and pick up the Alex Ross connecting covers, because I'm not just saying that because we shop at Slab Crusaders, but they're fantastic and I really can't, for that price, I don't think you're going to find anything like that anywhere else, and I don't think they're going to be around for long. So do what I've done, do what Tom's done, do what Andy's done, do what Triple G's done, and head over and pick up, because
scan that QR code, because that's what I did.
That's exactly it. Look at that. Absolute beauty. So that's that. That's the vote out the way. Now, what are we back to now? We are the Killer Cover Show sneak peek for next week. So I don't know about you, but we've picked. I've gone for Phantom Road issue number 5. Andy, you've gone for Swan Songs issue number 1, and Tom, you've gone for Marvel Zeros. But do we go with these 3 or do we go with the 3 indie picks? Because
that's
I don't know
the week after, isn't it?
Is it the week after? It is the week
after. Yeah, so that'll be next week's
sneak
peeks. Yeah.
So if we're all in agreement, how do we go for? We put these 3 up. What one gets chosen, and then we go for the 3 that you've chosen for your indie picks. I think you picked some fantastic ones there, mate. I wouldn't mind.
Everybody's happy to do that, yeah.
We've, I think, if I remember rightly, the Canva's already set up for the 2 of those.
Mm-hmm. It is indeed. So yes, that's another Thursday done. Yeah.
Pickups.
Pickups, yeah. You've got some pickups, haven't you?
And he's always desperate to get his pickups out. He just wants to shove his big blue dick.
I love seeing Andy's pickups. Do
you guys have pickups?
No. We should just rename it Andy's Pickups.
Exactly, yeah.
But I have got pickups, but because I've ordered so much from Slab Crusaders, I'm going to be doing my pickups in bulk in about 4 months.
yeah. We should do like a once a month pickups from Slab Crusaders. So these were all Whatnot, I believe, and some like various covers that I don't even know why I picked up. I don't know. So I'll start with one that I do know. I got another copy of Darth Vader issue number 20
Nice.
with the Grogu and Mando cover.
Like that.
I got Venom issue number 35. I love this cover. It spoke to me, and I think it was a couple of quid, so couldn't fault that. So picked this up, and again another cover pick. This is King in Black. Remember King in Black? Remember that series? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, those were the good days.
The good old days. Issue number 5. I thought that was a beauty, so picked that up. You'll like this one, Tom. Batman issue number 108. Love this cover.
I do like those magazine style covers. I think they're pretty smart.
They are really cool. They
I like the Hellfire ones.
See if you could like get a set of them. I think they would look really good. This is Siren's Gate issue number 1. This is a is it Shannon? Shannon Mayer, yeah. God, did you witness me having a brain fart there?
Andy's just had a stroke. Check his face.
Thanks. I was born with it. Campbell, Future State issue number 1. A little bit of J. Scott. And this is quite a hard book to find. Masters of the Universe, the exclusive preview cover.
Nice.
So this was limited to 5,000. It was a good old Dynamic Forces book. Love this. This is prime to get a little sketch at Thought Bubble done. So there we go. And last but not least, I picked up a slab from Comic Sam on Whatnot. Definitely go check out Comic Sam, another one of my preferred sellers. And you know that I love a Jock cover, but what's better than a Jock cover than a homage to a Jock cover?
Oh, look at that.
Sorry, Tom. Tom's like, what is going on?
And I have to say, that's a wicked comic as well. It's a good read. It's a really good read.
I can't read it. It's been slabbed in plastic.
Well, that's the thing. This has completed my Recount series. This is the only cover that I needed. And this is signed by Kyle Willis, the artist. So yeah, big shout out to Comic Sam for making that available, and that rounds off my set. So yeah, happy to have that in my collection, and that was my pickups.
That's wicked. See, the thing with the pickups, see, I'm not really not having the opportunity to go out and buy comics again. So I'm shopping on eBay and Slab Crusaders, and it's my nemesis at the moment. I'm going to get a massive delivery, and I'm going to have to be like to the wife, there's that delivery I've been waiting from since last year because I don't all them comics I bought last year.
Yeah, it's so easy, especially with Slab Crusaders allowing you to stack your books.
Yeah,
that's one of the fantastic things about it. But do
you know the one thing? I like, and I kind of agree with it, is that James he lets you stack them, but they're all paid for up front.
Yeah.
You can't stack them and then just be like, he's chasing you and saying, I've got £700 worth of comics sitting here.
It's also the same for subscriptions. So if you subscribe to a book or a series, you will be invoiced before that book comes out, which I think is the way to go, because
100%.
I know that the Coffee and Heroes, my LCS, they just had to put out a request on one of their latest videos that people just aren't paying for their pools, and they're months old, like 7-8 months they've been accumulating for.
I have the same problem with Not Quite Mint.
And yeah, Tom, you must have had that. I mean, I just think from a personal view, it keeps you in check with your money, the comics that you've got to pay. You're not buying the comics, forgetting about it, and then 4 or 5 months later, you're like, I've got a £600 bill, and you're like, actually, because you see it on Facebook all the time. Oh, someone's put a comic aside, and they're like, actually, I don't want it, and you're like, well, I've missed out so many offers. So I totally agree with it. I think it's a good way to go.
It's so easy just to hit, put it on my pull list, but see when you have to actually hit pay on PayPal. It's a different world, boys and girls. It's a different world.
It really, really is. But Andy, some fantastic pickups there. Wicked. Thanks. Nice. That's another week done, lads. It's another Thursday done. It's the weekend is soon upon us. Make sure you do head over to Slab Crusaders. Make sure you follow us all on Thread. And yeah, I think that's about it. we will see you next week. Tom, do you want to just give us a sneak peek of who you've got lined up for us for the creator or character spotlight next week?
So next week we aren't doing a character. We're going to go with a creator next week, and we're going to look at the most legendary Italian artist in the comic book industry. We're going to look at Gabriele Dell'Otto.
Boom. And if that ain't enough to keep you tuned in, give the thumbs up and hit the subscription button. Then I don't know what is. Tom, what do we always say at this time and night on a Thursday?
Stay safe. Stay sexy.
See you later, everyone. Thanks for joining.